what it is. Alright, so found a video right here. Jehovah organizes his people. Now, that shit sounds crazy as fuck to me reading it from the outside in, right? Because knowing everything to the Jehovah's Witnesses, Jehovah's number one. Whatever he says goes above anything else. Like literally number one, right? Above family, above your job, above money, anything, right? So to have this video here titled Jehovah Organizes His People, I'm just hoping that this nigga breaks down some updates or something, I don't know. But it's just going to show how much control they have. It's going to show how much brainwashing they have. And I already know, because look at this nigga's face. He's too happy. He's too fucking happy, right? And so I already know the way he's going to word stuff, put emphasis on certain things, and I'm going to break it the fuck down. I'm going to break it the fuck down because everybody in there, especially being raised in it, this is all you know. So this is law. This is all you know. So you taking notes on this shit, you finna go home and review your notes, pray, meditate, like, yeah, my nigga, let's see what they really talking about, though.
Have you ever heard someone say, I'm not religious, but I am spiritual?
My nigga, hold on, it's been 6 seconds. Look, I'm not religious, but I'm spiritual. Oh my God. Let me chill. Let me chill. Okay, hold on. All right, let's see.
Or, I don't need to belong to a religion. I worship God in my own way. Many people believe that they don't need to be associated with a specific religious organization, and that it's good enough simply to have a personal relationship with God.
Okay. And so, this organization is set up as the spokesman for God, right? They're the voice of God. There's a group called the governing body, and they govern everything that the organization does. They are the voice of God. So why is it that we're all created in God's image, but I have to go through you to get to God? This right here, a personal relationship with God, that's exactly what it should be. Why do I have to go to somebody else to prove my loyalty to God? I have to let you know that? Who the fuck are you? What makes you that special that God chose you? You know what I mean? Like that. But here we go. We finna get into it.
It's not surprising that they feel that way. Many religious organizations have promoted false worship. They've mistreated their followers, or demanded large sums of money from them, and tolerated or even promoted conduct that the Bible condemns.
And they say that the best hiding spot is in plain sight, and these motherfuckers are the best at putting right there in front, because everything he named, I can tell you happens. Right? They don't demand large sums of money in an aggressive way, but you better be donating in that box, and they are sure to remind you of that as well. But the best place to hide something is right in front of you. So they're going to tell you about false religion, right? They're going to tell you about all these other things when it's right there. They have articles on brainwashing, you know what I mean, when it's happening right there. So, man, we ain't even a minute into this motherfucker.
Of course, it's the fruitage of those organizations that's bad, not the fact that they're organized. But we might still ask, does Jehovah want his people to be organized? What does his word say? The Bible reveals that the early Christians were organized. Consider what's recorded in Acts chapter 15. An issue arose. An issue involving doctrine or belief that caused disagreement among those in the congregation. How would they settle that issue?
And he knows all this.
Did they conclude that it was enough for each Christian to have his own relationship with God, and for each person to believe what he personally wanted? No. That would have divided the young Christian congregation, which at this point was less than 20 years old. At Acts 15 verse 2 we read, But after quite a bit of dissension and disputing by Paul and Barnabas with them, it was arranged for Paul, Barnabas, and some of the others to go up to the apostles and elders in Jerusalem regarding this issue. The apostles and
now let me just say this. He's saying if they had personally done whatever, it would have divided the congregation, right? Everybody probably would have went their own way. Them people would have been peaceful. Okay, hey, you know what? You do you. I'm going to do me. I bet. We don't got to agree, but, as long as you're happy, cool. This shit divides people more than anything, so the lie is right there in front of you, but it's being manipulated to where it's not. I don't know if anybody caught that.
In Jerusalem made a decision that resolved the issue. Thereafter, they made their decision known to the congregations. This helped to restore peace and unity. That wasn't an exceptional case. Sometime later, the Apostle Paul and Timothy visited the congregations. What did they accomplish? Acts 16 verse 4 says, As they traveled on through the cities, they would deliver to them for observance the decrees that had been decided on by the apostles and the elders who were in Jerusalem. The apostles and elders in Jerusalem consistently provided spiritual food, direction, and practical help for God's people in the first century. They acted as a governing body.
There we go. Let me say this too. They take everything in the Bible, literal word for word, right? But then there's been revisions, and then they got this silver Bible that they had released to everybody. And you can't read any other Bible. You can't look at any other Bible like this is the Bible that you study, the Bible you preach with, the one you read from. So you have no idea what any other Bible says. or if whatever the fuck in here is literal, exactly translated how they're saying it was.
What was the result of such organization? Note the next verse. It says, "Then indeed the congregations continued to be made firm in the faith and to increase in number day by day." That organization in the first century helped the early Christians to be united, productive, and happy.
And so the problem is, he's talking about division. They didn't want to cause division, but all they're worried about is the niggas in that congregation. But to get in there, you got to cut off family members. If your husband ain't fucking with it, you know what I mean? You can't even marry outside of that, is what I'm saying. Like, whoever you're getting married to, or like your family, your friends, everybody's in that, right? So it's a lot of division that's happening to be a part of this.
In like manner, Jehovah's people today are organized. This reflects Jehovah's personality. 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verses 33 and 40 says in part, "God is a God not of disorder, but of peace. Let all things take place decently and by arrangement." Think about it. Organization really helps us to fulfill Jehovah's requirements for true worship.
Sounds like a lot of control.
Consider 5 examples.
That's crazy.
First, we must be organized to meet together for worship. How could we do so if we didn't know one another, didn't have designated places and times to gather together, and didn't have a scheduled program for each meeting?
So pretty much what he's saying is, we need y'all niggas to be friendly with everybody because we need to know where y'all at. Because when we give these updates, you need to be at these meetings so you can know what's going on. Because it be some shit that they be having going on.
Second, we must be organized to be united in belief. All of us receive the same instruction at congregation meetings, assemblies, and conventions, and we're helped to understand the scriptures through Bible-based publications and videos. These provisions require organization, and they help us to worship unitedly, and as 1 Corinthians 1 verse 10.
So pretty much we need you to be a robot. Okay? We need all of y'all to think the same, to respond the same. If somebody asks you a question, give them this scripture. Somebody asks you this question, you read them that scripture. All of y'all need to talk in the same cadence. Okay? Yeah, we need to be united. We need to be one mind. You're not an individual. You are one of Jehovah's Witnesses.
Counsels us to speak in agreement. Third, we must be organized to form a worldwide brotherhood. 1 Peter chapter 2 verse 17 reminds us that we belong to an association of brothers. If we weren't organized, how could we even identify those who are truly part of our spiritual family?
Pretty much we are one, and if you're not one of us, we're not really fucking with you. And we need you to act this certain way so you can be identified. Okay, I need to be able to look in a crowd and say, yep, they're probably Jehovah's Witnesses. I need to see your family sitting in a restaurant, and I walk in and glance over and I say, yep, they're probably Jehovah's Witnesses. We need you to not blend in, because you're not a part of that world. You are one of Jehovah's Witnesses. That's what I need.
Fourth, we must be organized to preach the good news to people of different nations, tribes, and languages. How could we possibly declare the kingdom message thoroughly and effectively if we weren't associated with an organization?
When people ask y'all questions in the field service, we need y'all to respond appropriately because we're trying to cut down all backlash as possible. So we need to be organized on these answers so we don't have y'all fucking up in the streets.
Fifth, we must be organized to provide disaster relief. Just as the early Christians had an arrangement to supply financial aid to their needy brothers and sisters in other lands, so we are organized to help our brothers and sisters as soon as possible after a disaster, disease outbreak, or other emergency.
Our people are superior. We are Jehovah's Witnesses. We're better than these people. So if something happens, we need to take care of our people. We the ones that's going to survive the end of the world. So if we can't do it now on COVID, if we can't do it now on a hurricane, how are we going to do it when the world ends? We need to get this shit down now. Organization, come on.
As was the case in the first century, the governing body today provides spiritual food, direction, and practical help for God's people around the world. Jesus has appointed that governing body to be the faithful and discreet slave.
So Jesus, Jesus, the perfect man that came down and sacrificed, he said, you know what? It's 5 people that I'm going to give all the direction and the power to, and they're going to be Jehovah's Witnesses, and everybody got to come through them. And they're going to be in New York City. That's what he said. Jesus has appointed that. That's what he said. And so everything comes through them. Through them, I think it might be 10. And that might be a stretch, but it's somewhere like that. It's a group. It's on the website. It's probably on here somewhere. But they the ones. Matter of fact, let's run it. Let's see. Let's play this and see.
How grateful we are that Jehovah, through our leader Jesus Christ, has organized us so that we can do God's will as a united brotherhood.
Exclamation point, nigga. Man, that boy, let's see what they got going on. And they got him just like that, governing body. Can I get a picture of these niggas? Where would they have a picture of them at? Well, this is them. This is, if that's a representation of them, that's 2, 4, 6, 7. Okay, but I don't know if that's them. There's a picture of them on here somewhere. But look, the governing body is a small group of mature Christians who provide direction for Jehovah's Witnesses worldwide. Their work is twofold. They oversee the preparation of Bible-based instruction through the publications, meetings, and schools of Jehovah's Witnesses, and they supervise the worldwide work of Jehovah's Witnesses by directing our public ministry and overseeing the use of donated assets. Damn. Well, that's it right there. Maybe I'll break this article down in the next video. We'll see.